Good evening, Hell Rats. Welcome to Metal Mayhem ROC. I'm your host, Southern Cal. On tonight's show, we got a good one. We're talking to the rhythm guitarist and lead singer of the band REOG, uh, fronted by Mr. Sammy T.
There
Sammy,
you
welcome
go.
to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Did I
Southern Cal.
did I pronounce that? Yeah. I know you're based out there in LA. I'm in Florida, Melbourne, Florida, on the East Coast. That's
Nice.
my Southern Cal name. They called me Cal up in New York. Um,
Perfect.
did I pronounce that band name right? Riog or
That
Riog?
is correct. That is
Riog.
correct. You can pronounce it Reog or Reog or as long as it represent those four letters and you can find us, that's all good.
Awesome. All right, Sammy, before we get into everything, like I said, I was very intrigued by the name of the band. Could you
Yes.
tell our listeners a little bit of the history, I think starting back in 2005 and the where you came about on this name? It's very interesting.
So the name came from the name Reog is actually a traditional Javanese dance that featured this creature with the main creature has this tiger lion type of head with a sort of mix with a peacock. So kind of like that, you know, tiger peacock type of amalgamation in a way, and it sort of like represent my my love for all kind of type of metal, the heavier ones and the melodic ones, thrash metal, uh hair metal, whatever you want to call it, but love melody, love the heavy guitars. That's how I kind of end up picking the name. And I originally came from Indonesia. uh Lived here almost 30 years now, since college basically. So and, the name, the reason I kind of pick we picked that name is because the inspiration came from Sepultura, basically. It's a weird name, but when you hear that name, you want to know about the band, where they come from. They're from Brazil. They what does that mean? A grave. So it sort of like creating pictures after you got the explanation. So that's what I like about the name. It's four letters. It's simple enough, and it's easy to pronounce it in English, but yet it creates that dialogue. Where are you from? What does that name means? I get to tell stories about where I came from. That's the reason why we picked that name.
It has to do with some kind of a dance with the darkness and light kind of bat.
Yes, that's the in the traditional way of Guns and Roses, you know, that combination, we just love that. And Ryog is one creature with that tiger slash peacock combination.
Right?
In our traditional logo, when I say traditional, the older logo, we instead of carrying the tiger and peacock, we sort of change it so we don't taint the original name. So we change it into a flailing metal balls and rose. So it's still that rough versus soft, melody versus heaviness that we love.
Sure. It's exactly like I said, the battle of light and dark. That's what
Yes.
actually drew me into that too. I had to know what that meant. Uh,
Yes.
you've been kind of classified, let's say, as a 90s Megadeth, Ozzy anthem type of band. Is that a correct
That
assumption?
is that is correct. That's the stuff we love. And with that's in a way, when you listen to it, it may not have that feel, but that's the easiest description we can get. Everybody knows Megadeth. That's the love. That's the stuff that I love. Riffs. It's all from the riffs, and then Ozzy with his vocal melodies is just catchy. So that's the approach we always get. Where's the riff? Song start from the riff first, and then build up with the melody on top. And the goal is always like try to get that melody line stick in your head. Try to get that riff sticks in your head, and and it's all good at the end if those two can be combined in a song, in a snippet of whatever it is, and you remember REOG. That's how it is. Because I love singing. That's the thing. I love heavier metal. I listen to all kind of metal, death metal, even grindcore stuff. But I still love that singing. So always go back to that.
I talked about the harmoning and the vocalizing, the harmonies. The song "New Light." When I listened to that, what really caught my ear was the harmonies and some of that throughout that song.
Yes.
It was perfect, and you get that, definitely got that feel, like you said, of the Ozzy-ish type of anthemy songs like that.
Yes, Ozzy always have this very catchy. What's interesting with Ozzy, he doesn't play any instrument, but yet he loves the Beatles, and I think that's where he got his melody sensibilities. And again, I grew up with more melodic stuff, Beatles, Bee Gees, Elvis. That's what my dad used to listen to at home. But then once I get to my teen years, I got, the very first album I had. My mom bought it in a market. I asked, like, "Hey, ma, could you, if you go to the market today, could you buy me a Guns N' Roses tape?" And then she's like, "What is that?" I said, "You just go to the tape, cassette store and ask for Guns N' Roses. It's called, with the cross on the cover. It's Appetite for Destruction. 14, 13-year-old me, and she bought me the tape along with the fish and chickens that she's gonna cook that day.
Here you go, dinner and some entertainment.
Yes, and from then on, it's I stuck with it. This is that's what I've been carrying it on. And again, there's another band that very important to me, and that's Queen. Queen always have that vocal qualities with layering vocals, and
Here,
sometimes when we layer those vocals, we don't really think, oh, how are we gonna do this live. It never crosses my mind to even do tapes, as to complete the sound. Sometimes the clubs that we play on, it's only one mic, and I try to cover all the vocals we can get to get the sort of like the big pictures. That's how it is. You cannot replicate all of the vocals, but still you can still sing along because all of the main vocal lines are all there.
it's kind of funny. You mentioned some of the musical influences from what your parents listened to, when you were talking about the Bee Gees and
Yes.
Elvis. These are the same things, and isn't it funny listening to that stuff? Because you throw in the Beach Boys and some Rolling Stones, and that's what
There
I
you
grew up
go.
on. And
There
we
you go.
both ended up at this same metal avenue.
I
And
know. That's what I love. I mean,
geez,
even stuff like I listen to the big band stuff like the Rat Packs and the Frank Sinatra, but I
group.
listen to all that stuff and then make it metal.
I mean,
That's
you
what comes
listen
out of
to
me.
some Gene Krupa stuff. You
Yeah,
listen
yeah.
to him, and that's just, you're like, this is almost metal, and this is stuff from the 50s, 60s. These guys
Yep.
were jamming back then. That's
Yep.
pretty awesome. Were you guys recently over in Indonesia doing a little some shows over there?
Yes, we did a tour. It's a 19 days tour in Indonesia in August, and we played a couple of big festivals out there, but mostly we play clubs and bars and even cafes that let us play and blast our music. And it was something that we been wanting to do because obviously because of the background that I have and lots of influence from that country, but yet most of them don't know that we even exist. This heavy metal band from LA that has the Indonesian name, they don't even know it that we exist. So we've been planning it for about a year or so, and then we finally got to do it this last month. And then the reason we sort of take the 3 weeks is because we didn't we didn't we didn't play throughout the 3 weeks, but we had 2 weeks where we actually made videos, two videos we made out there in Java, in Yogyakarta, and then in Bali, specifically in Bali for the song "Island of the Gods," which about the island of Bali. You know.
Tell us about the metal scene over there. Is
Oh,
there just taking off something new? I've noticed that
it's
it's not
exciting.
it's not just, let's say, America and England anymore producing the metal. It's becoming very international now. Last week we talked to Larry Berrigan from Hellstar and his side band Santa Escuridad, all Spanish band. The Houston scene, he says, it's just blowing up. Why not? The world needs metal. It's a
Yeah.
universal language. So tell us a little bit about the scene over there.
Oh, the scene over there is so striving. We kind of feel jealous a little bit because it was really grassroots too. We play small cafes and kids just going nuts. I'm talking about probably 14, 16, 17-year-old kids with their metal band playing hardcore, and I was blown away with that type of scene. It's on a weekday. The place was packed. These kids brought their fans, their friends, and just fill up the place. And it was on a weekday, blasting in this sort of like residential area. And I'm like, holy moly, this is awesome. And that's the thing with the scene too. It's now when we were there, Sepultura supposed to come this month to Yogyakarta, and then when we were there, Mr. Big was playing in Jakarta. So it's, as you said, it's international. It's from all over the place and all kinds of metal, even Indonesian metal like Death Squad, like a Burger Kill. These are now becomes like the usual bands that play Wacken festivals. I couldn't believe it. It's striving. I love it.
It's nice when you see some young kids out there. That's the next generation. It's going to
Yeah.
keep the metal scene going.
Right.
You mentioned you shot some videos over there. Any new music coming out? Anything happening coming down the pipeline?
So we have this new album coming up, and we have basically what we did was our albums from 2010 until 2018, we have about three albums, full albums. And then the thing is always number one, we don't have one singer throughout. Number one. Number two, the quality of the recordings was kind of like all over the place a little bit. So we kind of want to make a not a greatest hits, but just the stuff we love to play in one collection. One collection that we can that a listener can listen to with the with the band that is consistent throughout the album. Meaning, uh, I'll be the singer, the main lead singer for all the songs, and then we have this we have this music studio that we mix our album with, and it's excellent. The sound that we're able to produce is mind blowing. At least listening to those old songs in the new sort of sonic quality is something that we've been waiting to do. So this new album is gonna come out very soon, hopefully. And the two songs that we make the video for are Daily Grind and Island of the Gods. Two of the songs, sort of like our favorite to play.
So this you're going to take, like, let me just quickly mention, you said you had three full-length albums, 2010s For the Flowers, Finally Tears Falling, and First Things First. So you
Yes.
take, like what you said, you want to take like a greatest hits of those three and you're going to remix them into a consistent mix, let's say, instead of like the
Re-recording it. We actually re-recorded everything, not just remix them. We recorded them from scratch, and even with some with not different arrangements, but with different, the drums are more. John in the band, the drummer is giving sort of like injecting new blood into the band, and he's bringing his influence. He's he came from a more modern, younger metal generation, and his stamp is all over the album. It gives us that kick in the butt type of sound. Imagine the best way, I guess, to imagine it. Imagine White Snake with I don't know, white with the modern drummer, let's say, and then make it heavier. That's how I feel when we listen to this new songs. It just sounds modern and heavy and melodic.
And since you did re-record all these songs, was there any little parts that you said like, oh, this was good when we first did it, but if I could have just done this and this part right here, did you change any little parts or tweak any things since you had
It's
a chance to
the main thing on this album that is really improving is the sound of the drums and the playing of the drums, because we don't want John to hold back at all and let him take reign of the songs. And I said, let's make it the best that we can with your drumming. And Ralph is our bass player. His bass playing and my rhythm guitar playing are really like this. It's really chunky, but yet has that still have that uh, familiarity in a way, because we grow up listening to Megadeth. That's the stuff I love. The old school uh, Metallica, Anthrax. Anthrax is one of my influence too, with the singing especially.
who did you like, Neil Turbin or Joey Belladonna better?
I'm more Joey all the way.
Joey
That's
I'm a
yes.
Neil Turbin guy. I like
Oh
Joey.
wow,
So
awesome.
different, but that first album from them is just jams away. We're talking about Joey Belladonna. You have
Yes.
opened for him, have you not?
Yes, that was our very first show. I was our very first show back in, oh my gosh, '07, '08. He was very gracious having us to have us, and uh, it was great. The very first show that we ever did was with Joey, and Joey is very important again among the big four. Uh, he's the guy that uh, I look up to in terms of vocals, because that would differentiate Anthrax from the other big four.
After Joey left the band, did you continue on with Anthrax with John Bush?
Oh yeah, I was a huge fan of White Noise, so I was blown away by that. It's too bad that Dan Spitz didn't continue with the band after that album. I was heartbroken when he left, but
Oh yeah.
I'm a huge fan of Anthrax. So even the later years album, uh, yeah, with John Bush, he carried on. Only, as far as I'm concerned, only Van Halen and Anthrax can continue with different singers.
Oh God, don't get going on Van Halen.
Ah,
My producer's going to jump on here in a minute. He's the Van Halen master. As long as I've known this kid since seventh grade, all about
wow.
Van Halen. He is a walking encyclopedia. So he'll get on, he'll start going, and
Oh
he'll
yeah, I love Van Halen, man, the
yeah, they are
master.
great, great band. Um, any tour dates coming up? Any shows you got? Let's say regionally or just in the Southern California area or
N-
getting out a
Not
little?
yet, because what's funny with the album, originally we the album is in a way is almost all in the can, so to speak. But then we figure we want to add some more songs, so to make it more like just to give a good collection. So total, we want to make like a 9 songs album, make it 9 songs, make it worthwhile. So we still have to finish 2 of the songs right now, and there's some delays because we were trying to, not to rush it, but to make to have something in our hands for our Indonesia crowd, and we just want to finish 2 more songs, and then it's ready to go, almost done.
Any release date, tentative release date?
We were hoping to be sometimes in October or so, but at this rate, we have to wait and see. But we're just so excited. We couldn't wait to unleash this to people, and yeah, we can't wait. We'll talk we'll talk some more when it comes out, but I'm hoping to be this year. I'm hoping that's finger crossed, but we'll see. I want to give it a proper send off in terms of sending it to you guys so you can listen to it and then get a release date.
That's awesome. As soon as you're in LA, any chances or plans of going to the Power Trip Festival?
Oh, that power trip is a whole nother discussion. It's I was excited to go until I saw the plot of the stage, because the crowd, the the, the peasants, if you want, it's we're in the back. Instead of, and it's not a amphitheater type of deal where the back crowd is more, right. This is the stage, but it's more like this, with the seats on left and right and seats in the middle, and then the most expensive area in the front, but the crowd is way in the back in that sort of rectangular shape. So after counting, the cost of what I want to be able to do it, between we got to get an Airbnb, we got to get, because it's not in LA, it's quite a drive out there. It's the location where they have the stagecoach, the location where they have the Coachella. So it's
Oh
it's a
yeah,
drive out there. So we gotta have a place to stay there after the after calculating all the costs. I had to pass, especially, the main thing I want to see, the main band I want to see is Metallica, and we just saw Metallica here in LA, not far from my house actually, and it, 2 days of Metallica, as
right.
you know, it's great. So I cannot justify it. It's not enough for me. Ozzy is replaced by Judas Priest, which is great too. So uh, instead of seeing them in Power Trip, I'd rather do individual and individual shows, and just you know
Some of those
uh,
shows you're so far in the back, you find yourself watching the big screens instead
yep,
of the band. You're,
yep,
you're watching. It's like watching a movie in a drive-in movie theater. So
exactly.
sometimes when you say to see them on an individual basis would be a lot better. There's a lot of hype to this festival, and
I
sure,
know.
great to be there and go spend the 3-4 days out there with the Airbnb and doing.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
gonna it's gonna come out at least $2,000 after I calculate all the costs, and I cannot justify it. Sorry, Power Trip.
that's a lot of money right now.
It's a lot of money between that or doing a cruise, right? That's the thing nowadays. So,
Oh, we got the one that leaves out of Miami down here. It's like an '80s festival, let's say, and there's another
oh,
one that leaves right out of right where I live in Port Canaveral. So we get two metal
ah,
cruises each year, and always some great bands on there: Ace Frehley, Quiet Riot, to mention a few. So
nice, nice.
well, Sammy, like you
Yes,
said, we definitely like to get back in touch with you when this new album comes out, and talk about that and promote that a little bit for you. Before we
absolutely.
go, um, any of our listeners would like to find out more about REOG, tell us your media outlets where they can find you and get some more information about the
So
band.
the easiest way to find us is you can search anywhere in Google and search REOG Music, REOG Music, one word. That's you can go to reogmusic.com or REOG Music in any of the social media, Facebook, the usual one, IG, and you'll find us. And subscribe to us. We post our videos sometimes. We love to post our uh, full shows actually in YouTube, because lots of people couldn't see us, and what's the best way to present it? out there without you being in front of us in person is through YouTube. Everybody watch YouTube. So hopefully interact with us, send emails, send hate mail, send whatever you want. And REOG Music, REOGmusic.com.
That's very awesome. Again, Sammy T, lead singer and rhythm guitarist of the band REOG. Get out there and check them out, support them if you can. And Sammy, we just want to thank you again for joining us tonight on Metal Mayhem ROC.
Thank you. Thank you, Southern Cal. Keep it Southern Cal.
Love it. Hey, for Metal Mayhem ROC, I'm Southern Cal.
Metal for life.
Thank you for listening to Metal Mayhem ROC. Check out our website at metalmayhemroc.com for information on podcasts, archives, links to all our live radio shows, and all sorts of info. Please like, follow, and share with everyone, even your non-metal friends. And always remember to keep it heavy.